Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my video presentation one of IME. So the topic for today's presentation is exploring the diverse types of power plants for energy generation. So coming to my introduction, I'm a first year graduating student at SVC Bangalore and I belong to Audi session. My name is Sainanandan and my unique ID is 23CS1750. So the introduction for today's presentation is this presentation explores the diverse types of power plants used for energy generation. We will discuss the various technologies and their impact on the environment and sustainability. So the first power plant we will discuss here is fossil fuel power plant. Fossil fuel power plants such as coal and natural gas are the most common source of electricity. They produce energy by burning fossil fuels to generate steam, which drives turbine to produce electricity. So these type of power plants are most widely found power plants around India, and they are most preferred because their efficiency is more, and we get more energy by this method of preparation of energy. But there are many drawbacks for these kind of power plants that they could produce a lot of pollution after burning fossil fuels and coal, and they pollute the surroundings, the water bodies, because directly the water from the boiler or which is used to clean the boiler is directly let into the natural water bodies that are surrounding the power plant. So this type of power plant are widely used, but they are not preferred because they produce a lot of pollution. Nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant harness the energy released from nuclear reaction. They use uranium fuel to produce heat through a process called nuclear fission, which generates steam to power turbine for electricity generation. So these type of power plants use uranium as a fuel. So the process, like a big nucleus of uranium, is broken down into two small nucleus. Thereby, when this process happens, when the breaking down of nucleus happens, there is a huge amount of energy that is emitted. So by this amount of energy, a lot of heat is generated. This generated heat is used to heat the water, and the water that is heated is used to move the turbine by steam. Hydroelectric power plants. Hydroelectric power plants utilizes the energy of flowing or falling water to generate electricity. They rely on kinetic energy of water to turn turbines, converting into external power. So hydroelectric power plant, as we know that these use water, the flow of water that from the dam is taken from a conveyor belt, and when the turbine is there, the fast moving water moves the turbine, and after moving the turbine, uh, electricity is produced. Wind power plant. Plant harness the kinetic energy of the wind to spin turbines, generating electricity. They are sustainable and a renewable source of energy, contributing to carbon-free power generation. So this type of power generation is actually good to the environment because they do not emit any kind of carbon. But the drawback for this kind of power generation is wind is not available 24/7. So yeah, we cannot generate continuous electricity by this power plant. Solar power plant. Solar power plant converts sunlight into electricity by using voltaic cell or concentrating solar power system. They offer a sustainable and abundant source of energy, contributing to clean power generation. Solar energy, as we know that it takes the sunlight and then the photovoltaic cell traps the sunlight, thereby converting the sunlight, so solar energy, to electrical form of energy. And this is also a very good source of energy because they do not emit any pollutants to the environment. Geothermal power plants. Geothermal power plants utilizes the heat from Earth's core to generate electricity. They trap geothermal reservoirs and use steam or hot water to power turbines for energy production. So geothermal energy is basically they take the places where you find volcanoes and they use those heat to heat the water, and the same thing happens. The water is converted into steam, and the steam moves a turbine. But the drawback for this kind of power plants is that it cannot be established everywhere. It can only be established where there are volcanoes and seismic activities are taking place. Only there these kind of power plants can be established. Power plants. Biomass power plants use organic materials such as wood, agricultural residues, and waste to produce electricity through combustion and biochemical process. They offer a renewable and sustainable energy solution. So these type of power plants take wood, agricultural residues such as dried leaves, and they burn it. After burning, and the same process takes place. After burning, the water is heated and the steam forms. The steam turns a turbine, and electricity is generated by this process. And this process is known as biomass power plants. Tidal power plants. Tidal power plants harness the energy from natural rise and fall of ocean tides to generate electricity. They utilize the kinetic energy of the tides to drive turbines for power generation. So these type of power plants uses the waves basically in the oceans and seas. The high tide, when the high tide comes, this uses the those energy of the tides to generate electricity. And yeah, this can only be done on the high tide. When the water is in the low tide, tidal power plant doesn't work, and this can be only established in the seashores or basically in the ports. Wave power plants. Wave power plants converts motion of ocean waves into electricity using various technologies such as oscillating water columns or point observers. They offer a potential source of renewable source energy from the ocean. So yeah, wave power plants is similar to tidal energy, but they use waves, but tidal energy uses tides. This tidal energy and waves are nearly similar, but where power plants can be done throughout the day, but tidal power plants can be done only the high tide. When there is low tide, this tidal power plants cannot generate electricity. Where power plants can generate electricity throughout the day. So that's the difference. Biofuel power plant. Biofuel power plants produce electricity from biologically derived materials such as ethanol, biodiesel, and biogas. They offer sustainable alternative to traditional fossil fuels based on power generation. So biofuel power plants uses methane or ethanol or biodiesel or biogas uh, to produce electricity. Energy storage systems. Energy storage systems such as batteries and pumped hydro storage play a crucial role in balancing the fluctuating nature of renewable energy source. They provide a mean to store and release electricity as needed. So yeah, when we are generating electricity, we need a place to store the electricity. So we cannot directly use the electricity that is generated. Example, we are using the solar energy. Solar energy is just generated during the daytime, but at night time, when there is no sunlight, you need to store this energy in batteries or hydro storage or any other means, and you can reuse the energy when there is no generation of electricity. Environmental impact. The diverse type of power plants having varying environmental impact, including air and water pollution, habitat disturbance, and greenhouse gas emissions. It's essential to consider the environmental effect of energy generation. So yeah, the fossil fuel when we burn or when we combust something, there is a huge amount of pollutants or carbon emission that is readily released into our environment. So this causes a lot of pollution. So it causes our temperature, Earth's mean temperature, to rise rapidly. By rising of this temperature, our sea level will increase gradually, and after that there will be a rapid change in our climate, and our climate can be unpredictable in the future. So these are some environmental impact of generating electricity. In conclusion, exploring the diverse types of power plants for energy generation highlights the importance of sustainable and renewable energy source. It's crucial to prioritize environmentally friendly technologies for cleaner and greener future. Thank you. If you consider liking my, please consider liking my video and subscribe to my channel.